4 years have gone by since Paul ended his life. I'm now 24 years of age, living in my own apartment, far away from my old neighborhood. Alex and Tom have their own place and spend their time studying in university, while I attain some simple retail job, barely managing to scrape enough money together to live off of. Our lives have been scare-free for the past few years, and we were just beginning to get back to normal. There was the odd nightmare, of course, but aside from that, the three of us were doing good. Well, that's what we thought. About 6 months ago, I was over at Tom and Alex's place having a few drinks, watching a couple of movies. The talk of the intoxicated soon began, and before we knew it, we were discussing everything that had happened. None of us like to even think about the events, let alone talk about it, but I suppose that's what alcohol does to you. We found ourselves dissecting Kershaw Street, remembering the people who used to live there and all the people who left. Tom's parents were long gone, losing their minds down in Oakshale. Not long after Paul died, his parents left too. Then Michael was forced to leave with his mom and dad, as well as other neighbors just up and leaving. The street seemed so empty when we left. When me and Alex moved out, our mom and dad decided to stay put. They liked the street, the area, their jobs, and they had never been part of anything that actually happened. It didn't take me and Alex too long to figure out that the reason we were the only kids allowed on the street was because our parents had a lack of experience with Solomon. Most of the other parents happened to be part of the strange history in some way. I suppose he chooses his fixations. After a few drinks and some intense talking, the three of us finally fell into a drunken slumber. It wasn't until the early hours of the morning that we were disturbed by a bang at the door. Me and Alex opened our eyes and attempted to focus our vision. Tom was nowhere to be seen. A feeling of pure sickness hit my stomach that wasn't drink-related. I immediately knew what was happening. Alex wasn't as fast to react to the situation we were in. After all, it had been 4 years. We stood up and made our way towards the front door. Just as Alex turned the handle, his face changed. It was almost as if, in that moment, he had the realization of what could be outside. He slowly opened the door, but there was nothing there. Just a small, white, spotted bow on the ground. We slammed the door shut and made our way back to the living room. It didn't take me long to realize that I knew where we had to go. The article, my déjà vu, the bow, it all added up. The shortcut through the woods to get to Oakshale, the place I refused to enter, was where Solomon would be. During my history research, I read that he would hide the dead bodies of all the children he drowned in that area because Oakshale was locally known for its beautifully scenic route. There was no way anybody would tread those woods and miss out on the wonderful sights. If Tom was going to be anywhere, it would be there. I still had the fear and didn't want to be anywhere near Oakshale at this moment in time, but we had to find Tom. We eventually made it to the woods and stopped on the road. Everything seemed so surreal. I took a few deep breaths and stepped onto the grass. At that moment, Alex pulled the bow out of his pocket as a brisk wind blew it from his hand onto the floor where it had been once before. I shouted at him, grabbing him by the shirt. I questioned him as to why he brought it. The only answer he could muster was, "I feel like it's a big part of our whole story." As true as that may be, I didn't want to be reminded of what I once saw in my mind. We slowly made our way into the woods and walked for a good 10 minutes. But nothing happened. Maybe it was just a dream, or deja vu, or whatever you want to call it. But then the smell hit us. We turned the corner, cut through some trees, and there it was. My nightmare. The moonlight shined brightly through the crooked branches of the trees. It bounced off the stream and seeped through every gap in sight. The tall, skinny figure of Solomon Wallace had his hands on Tom and seemed to be leading him towards the water. The figure of Paul's parents hanging in the trees spun slowly, drenched in blood and smiling like kids on Christmas. Tom's mom and dad sat slouched against the bark opposite Tom. They were disfigured, maimed, cut apart and then sewn back together to seem smaller and younger. They all looked so happy. The look on Tom's face, however, was indescribable. A fear once thought to be impossible to feel, it surely matched the horror that me and Alex were feeling inside. Solomon stopped and looked at us with his black eyes. He banged and scratched on the tree next to him, but we couldn't understand. He took a few more steps toward the stream and stepped into the water with Tom. The torrent slowly reached Solomon's waist, but it had completely submerged Tom. We didn't know what to do. We stood there, stunned and useless. Then Tom fought back. He kicked and tussled until he relinquished Solomon's grasp. Me and Alex snapped out of our trance and ran towards the water. Tom slowly crawled out of the stream, and his fear was replaced by anger. Solomon let out a deafening scream and marched towards us. The three of us muscled a large rock to the floor and rolled it towards his bony structure. The stone knocked him over into the stream, landing on his chest as he failed to move it from on top of him. We couldn't stay to see the damage done. We ran home as fast as we could and called the police. We told them everything. The story of Solomon, the dead bodies in the woods, the suicides. We did not miss anything. The police didn't seem to care. It was as if everybody knew but never spoke of it, an entire town built on silence. They sent a team out to the woods and found everything that we described. All the disfigured corpses and even the body in the stream. It was finally over. Nothing was written in the local paper the next day, and the three of us were barely questioned on what happened that night. I guess everyone was still unsure on the whereabouts of Solomon Wallace and whether he really did die that night. 2 days ago, I got a phone call from the police down in my old hometown. The autopsy had finally been completed, and the officers thought that I should know the results. The body belonged to that of a man named Mr. Ted Bradley. Michael's dad. I hung up the phone, called Tom and Alex, and told them to get over to my place the next day so we could talk. They arrived and I erupted, rambling in fear, screaming that he was still out there, sobbing like a baby. Then they interrupted me. We just found this in the lobby downstairs. They handed me a small box. We opened it up to find a broken window latch and a small drawing of my apartment. The picture was dated April 4th, 2013, and had a small cross next to it. On second glance, Tom noticed it and pointed out the scribbled image of Solomon in the corner of the page. That's when we heard the scratching. The three of us ran into the bathroom and locked the door. That was almost 24 hours ago, and the noise has barely ceased since. It seems as though nobody escapes, not even us. So here we are, terrified in our final moments. Razors at the ready. Hey guys, it's me, the Shadow of Innocence. I hope you enjoyed this video. Holy hell. I finally did Scratching Part 5. I've been waiting to do this part for so long. I know I left you guys in the dark for several months on it. I'm sorry about that. It's just I had 3 jobs. I had a show I was acting in, and then I had college to worry about too. So I had a lot of work. I couldn't really keep up with my videos for a while. But luckily, Christmas vacation is almost here, and that means that videos will be coming out more frequently. I don't have a set schedule yet or anything. I probably never will have a set schedule if I'm being dead honest, but I can promise that videos are going to be a lot more frequent during the break, but I can't promise how much. But just expect more videos along the way very soon. I hope you guys like the first part of Ben Drowned, by the way. I've been wanting to do that story for several years now. That's been like a favorite of mine that I've had on the list of videos I've wanted to record, and I know that one's going to be a fucking monster to upload. Holy shit, that's going to have a lot of parts. But you know what? I got through this, and I want to celebrate this one because Scratching is actually the very first series that I've ever finished on my channel. And this actually marks the final video I will be recording from my iPhone 7. Yes, I know. Your jaws are probably dropping right now. I'm poor as hell. I cannot afford a lot of big stuff out there. But I finally saved up enough money, and now I got this great editing software on the way, and I'm actually going to be able to do better, longer HD videos. So this video marks a special moment for me because it's the last video where I'm going to be mediocre with shit. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I cannot wait to make my New Year's video. I've been planning that for a while now. Okay, I'm lying. I haven't planned shit yet. I just wanted to sound professional, but I know New Year's is actually a big thing on this channel, so I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I want it to be really creative and really cool for you guys, so you got all that to look forward to. I'm the Shadow of Innocence. I hope you enjoyed this, and I can't wait to do Ben Drowned Part 2. See you in the next video, guys.